Hey guys, so I'm going to show you. Here's our little update. So the building's behind me. I'll flip the screen around. I'm going to take you on a little tour. Hang on. Okay, so here's our driveway. Here's what Brian moved yesterday with his tractor. There's still the landlord stuff. But look, they've got that whole side of the parking lot cleaned up, all the brush off of the edge. There's Pastor Barry and Brian over there working. They're pulling the roots out of all the trees and stuff that they cut down. So they're just getting after it. Pop Ran just left, getting ready to move a wall. So that's all cleaned up. The whole side of the church, we got that all cleaned out. And then we're getting, we started crush on that side. We're gonna run crush all the way down this side of the driveway, down to where our mailbox is, and gotta get a culvert in there for drainage. And that's gonna give us about 15 extra parking spots that way. So that's the plan. And then what the engineer said, for the, to make it ADA accessible for the second story up there, what they're gonna do is come up this access road this way, and then up at the top there, right there, not the top, but right at the end of the building there, past these pine trees, there's a spot that we can build up, and you can put like 3 handicap parking spots up there. And they said they can ramp. Look how green and pretty it is in New York right now. So here's the deck off of the back of the building. And so we have to take out these trees right in here, these little pines. Put some 3 handicap parking spots there. And then we can ramp over to the deck and go in there, so we would have access to the second story for handicap accessibility. And the engineers said that'll work. So that's a heck of a lot cheaper than a elevator. And then up here, if you follow the road all the way to the top of the hill, those are the cell towers that sit on our property. They pay us rent. And then we've got all this space in the backyard here behind the church. And then the back side of the church here. There we go. So these what are those called? Carport things. We're gonna turn that one right there into a storage. Move it, get it closed in, maybe pour a slab underneath of it, and then we'll have some storage for the church. Tables, chairs, that kind of stuff. And then this one over here we're going to close in, and we bought a new Z-turn to mow all this grass, so that's going to be stored in there when we get it closed in. Uh-oh, look at this guy. Is that tractor going to get it out? Let's watch. Looks like they're struggling a little bit on that one. And then here's this garage. It's gonna be split in half. This overhead door is gonna come out, and this little space this side is gonna be a nursery. Oh, here's our new Z-turn we got. Exciting, huh? Can't wait to learn how to drive that. That'll be fun. There we go. There's the wall that's going to be coming down. It's going to go into the this will be all part of the sanctuary. This adds another 30 feet on that. Let's see. And this is going to be the rest of our sanctuary. Going to be tight for a minute. I think it's going to be zoned for like 70. I think we're thinking 75, 80 people is what it's going to be zoned for to start with. Then we can add on or break out a wall if we need to. And this goes back out to the front of the building. Here's our 2 ADA bathrooms are already ready. Somebody left the vent running in that one. The water fountain has to come out. We got to have one that's ADA accessible, and it's got to drop down. It's a little high, but we've got one at our church now that we can bring over here, so that's good. And this is the other side. It's exactly the same as the other one, and this is going to be an all-purpose room that children can have church in here, and we're going to set up like a little coffee bar across there because there's already water run right there for a sink, and then there's a 220 that we're going to pop through from the other side of the wall to this one, put in a stove. And there's the utility closet, furnace, all that. That's downstairs. And then this goes out this door. And you're back outside to the side of the building again. And then these have to be redone. This is the stairway that goes upstairs. This whole door is coming out, and that is going to be opened up wider so that for whoever comes in on this side of the building, they can just turn right and put their kids in the nursery that way.